Have you ever felt surrounded by people, yet completely alone? It's strange, isn't it? How a crowded room can feel emptier than silence. We scroll, we talk, we perform, but something inside whispers, "You're not really seen." This isn't about being alone in a room. It's the quiet ache inside your chest. When even your own thoughts feel too loud. What if loneliness isn't the enemy, but the teacher? Loneliness doesn't shout, it grows quietly. Like dust on a forgotten shelf. One day you wake up and everything feels heavier. Not because something broke, but because nothing truly connects anymore. You realize you've been drifting away little by little, until one day you're lost inside yourself. Sometimes it happens after heartbreak, sometimes after success, sometimes after giving too much and keeping nothing for yourself. We're taught to fear loneliness, but maybe what we really fear is meeting ourselves. The silence of loneliness feels cruel at first. It forces you to face everything you've been avoiding. But if you stay there long enough, you start to hear things differently. The mind begins to slow down, the noise fades, and somewhere deep inside, a soft voice appears. "I've been waiting for you." That voice is you, the part that got lost. Between expectations, noise, and speed. In solitude, the masks fall. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to perform. You can finally just be. We think loneliness means being unwanted, but sometimes it's life's way of pulling us inward to remember who we are. Without all the noise, loneliness becomes a mirror. It shows the places that still hurt, the parts that still wait for others to fill. But what if healing doesn't come from being with people, but from becoming whole before them? Loneliness isn't a curse, it's a cleansing. A pause before your next version arrives. Maybe you needed this silence to remember your own voice. And you'll understand something beautiful. You were never truly alone. You were just learning to come home to yourself. Loneliness was never the absence of others. It was the absence of you. If you're listening to this right now, in the quiet of your room, this silence isn't empty, it's sacred. It's space for you to heal, space for peace to enter. Don't run away from loneliness. Learn to sit with it. Because sometimes solitude isn't a prison. It's a sanctuary. Let's go deeper, because loneliness has more to show you. Loneliness doesn't always arrive in silence. Sometimes it arrives disguised as connection. You can be surrounded by voices, but feel invisible. You can be held and still feel unloved. You can laugh, yet feel empty on the inside. Because loneliness is not the absence of people. It's the absence of emotional safety. It's the absence of being understood. The absence of being able to be yourself without fear. That kind of loneliness is the one that hurts the most, because it grows quietly inside relationships, inside friendships, inside families, even inside a life that looks perfect on the outside. Loneliness is deeper than distance. It is the ache of being unseen, even when someone is looking at you. It is the ache of being unheard, even when someone is listening. It is the ache of being unvalued, even when someone says they care. And this is where loneliness becomes a mirror. It reflects everything you've accepted just to feel wanted. Everything you sacrificed just to feel enough. Everything you tolerated to avoid losing someone. When the truth is, you were losing yourself. This is the moment loneliness begins to awaken you. Awaken you to what you truly need. Awaken you to what you truly deserve. Awaken you to who you really are. Loneliness is not punishment. It is redirection. It is the universe whispering, "You're meant for more." It is life calling you back to yourself. So breathe and let this moment settle in your heart. Because loneliness is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your awakening. Let's continue, because loneliness has more to show you. Loneliness reveals what you accepted only because you were afraid of losing someone. This is the truth no one talks about. Most people don't fear being alone. They fear meeting the version of themselves they've been avoiding. Loneliness brings you face to face with your unhealed parts, with the wounds you tried to outgrow but still carry, with the voices you silenced to keep the peace. This is why loneliness is painful. Because it brings you back to yourself before you were hurt, before you felt unwanted, before you felt unworthy, before someone taught you to hide parts of your soul. But that younger version of you is still waiting. Waiting to be heard, waiting to be held, losing herself, waiting to be healed. Loneliness is the doorway back to your true self. It is the space where you rediscover your identity, your voice, your truth. Listen, because this part matters. Healing doesn't start when someone apologizes. Healing starts when you finally see the truth. Healing begins the moment you stop abandoning yourself. Loneliness reveals the abandonment you did not notice. The abandonment of your needs, your desires, your boundaries. And slowly, it calls you back. Back to your truth, back to your worth, back to your heart. Loneliness teaches you something else too. You don't need to be chosen to be valuable. It is where you stop living for others to be worthy and start living from your soul. You don't need to be loved to be whole. Because your worth is not negotiated by others. It lives within you, whether someone sees it or not. It was always there. Loneliness simply revealed it. And once you see your worth, you can never unsee it. And once you meet yourself, you can never abandon yourself again. Breathing in, a new truth begins to form. Loneliness is not your enemy. It is your awakening. It is the quiet moment before your rebirth. It is the stillness before your transformation. And you are changing. You are shedding the person you had to become to survive. And returning to the person you were always meant to be. This is the gift of loneliness. It brings you home. Home to your soul. Home to your truth. Home to yourself. You once feared loneliness, but now you begin to understand its purpose. It was preparing you for a version of yourself you could not see before. A version stronger, wiser, and more alive. A version of you that does not beg for love, but becomes love. A version that does not chase acceptance, but radiates authenticity. Loneliness is the fire through which you are being reshaped. Not to make you harder, but to make you clearer. Clear on who you are. Clear on what you deserve. Clear on the people who truly value your presence. Clear on the love that you no longer need to fight for. Because real love does not require you to suffer to earn it. Real love does not confuse you. It does not silence you. It does not make you question your worth. Loneliness teaches you the truth. You deserve a love that feels like freedom. Not a love that cages your wings, but one that helps them open. Not a love that drains your spirit, but one that nourishes it. Not a love that needs to be chased, but one that meets you where you are. Loneliness prepares you for that love by first teaching you to love yourself. Because the love you give to others is only as deep as the love you've given yourself. The love you accept is only as pure as the boundaries you carry. The love you experience is only as safe as your willingness to walk away from what hurts. Not through a loud revelation, but through a soft unfolding. Through nights of silence, where you finally hear your own voice again. Through mornings of stillness, where you feel your soul waking up. This is the transformation no one sees. The healing that happens in private before it becomes visible. The rebuilding that begins inside long before it shows on the outside. Loneliness is not emptiness. It is preparation. It is the sacred pause before the next chapter begins. It is the whisper that says, you are becoming who you were meant to be. And slowly, everything inside you begins to soften. The fear loosens its grip. The doubt releases its claws. Loneliness
Your heart
reveals all this,
begins to breathe again
quietly. Your mind begins to clear. Your soul begins to open. And for the first time, you see yourself. Not through the eyes of others, but through the eyes of truth. You see your strength. You see your beauty. You see the resilience you didn't know you had. This is the gift loneliness was trying to give you. Not sadness, not emptiness, but clarity, truth, awakening. Loneliness is the opening of a door you once feared to touch. A door that leads to the parts of you that were buried beneath noise and expectation. A door that reveals truths you were once too busy or too afraid to see. Where you learn to hear your own thoughts without interruption. Where you reconnect with emotions you didn't know still lived inside you. And slowly, gently, a new understanding begins to form. You realize that solitude is not lonely when you are not abandoning yourself. This is the quiet healing no one witnesses. The rebuilding that happens in silence, long before it appears on the surface. Loneliness teaches you how to sit with yourself without fear. How to listen to your heart without judgment. How to honor your needs without apology. It brings you to a place where that the relationship you have with yourself without distraction is the foundation for every relationship you will ever have. The way you talk to yourself, the way you treat yourself, the boundaries you hold, the love you permit, all of it begins with you. It becomes a kind of simply the space where you learn a return to presence, a return to truth, a classroom with no walls, where the lessons come softly, where the silence becomes your teacher. Because where true healing to understand what you truly always need begins within and what you no longer want. where you begin to heal wounds you didn't know were still open, where you begin to forgive yourself for the ways you abandoned yourself before, for the times you stayed where your heart was breaking, for the years you spent trying to be enough for someone who could not see you. Loneliness shows you were always worthy, not because of who stayed, but because of who you became. It shows you that healing is not loud. It does not announce itself. It comes softly, quietly, restoring you piece by piece. It shows you that transformation does not always look like lightning. Sometimes it looks like gentle light returning to your eyes, like breathing becoming easier again, like feeling safe inside your own mind. Loneliness is the soil where your new self begins to grow, roots forming quietly beneath the surface, strength developing where there was once only exhaustion, clarity rising where there was once only confusion. And slowly, beautifully, you begin to bloom, not because of someone else, but because of yourself. Because you chose to listen, because you chose to stay, because you chose to hear the truth your heart was whispering. This is the quiet revolution happening within you. A rebirth that is gentle and powerful. A transformation no one sees until you shine again. And now you arrive at a truth you could not have reached any other way. Loneliness did not break you. It revealed you. It revealed the strength you forgot you had. It revealed the resilience beneath your tired bones. It revealed the quiet courage within your soul. It revealed the beauty of a heart that refused to give up. Loneliness showed you that even in silence, you are still whole, still worthy, still enough. It showed you that peace does not come from people, but from presence, from stillness, from truth. It showed you that healing begins the moment you return to yourself. And now you are returning. You are reconnecting with the parts of you that were left behind, with the hopes you buried, with the dreams you silenced, with the pieces of your soul you thought were gone forever. But they were never gone. They were waiting for this moment of stillness, waiting for your eyes to open, waiting for your heart to soften enough to let them return. You were never broken. You were simply unfolding, becoming, blooming, becoming yourself again. This is what loneliness was trying to give you. A chance to rediscover who you are when the world goes quiet. A chance to rebuild yourself from truth, not fear. A chance to feel deeply, honestly, without rushing. A chance to breathe without carrying the weight of pretending. A chance to love yourself the way you always deserved. And now a new chapter begins. One where you walk with clarity, with softness, with truth. One where loneliness is no longer a threat, but a companion. A reminder that you are whole, even in silence. A reminder that you are enough, even alone. A reminder that you can always return to the home within yourself. So if you ever feel the ache of loneliness again, remember this moment. Remember who you became in the silence. Remember the strength that awakened inside you. Remember the truth you found when everything else faded. You were never empty. You were never alone. You were becoming. And this is just the beginning.